Starting to pack. That's an avocado pear tree in the make. It's taller than me now. Ha! Oh Lord. Right. Ça change. La plus ça reste la même chose. The more things change, the more things stay the same, basically. I just looked it up. Some French poet, writer. I think the date was 1849, I saw. Yeah. Well, how far out of the jungle are we, human beings, mankind? I listen to the BBC Radio 4, which turns into the World Service, 1 a.m. here, British summertime, which is an hour forward from Greenwich Mean Time, and apparently in Ethiopia, Tigray, there's this sort of civil war going on. They're using something called white phosphorus, which is banned under international law, but it's, I don't know the details of it. I should look it up, I suppose, but it burns you. It scatters, presumably, and it just sticks to your skin and burns you like napalm. That was orange, wasn't there? And then I think there was a purple napalm as well. It's a way of subduing civilians. Isn't the world awful? The bombs get bigger, smarter, the weapons of mass destruction more effective at destroying massively. Anyway, this is my last week here, so I'm sort of saying goodbye to Harpenden and Hertfordshire, where hurricanes hardly ever happen. I just like the H sound and all of that. In Hingerland, by the way. And I'm going up to the wild and woolly north, mate. Northumbria, Alnwick. It's the county town of Northumbria, but it's sort of on the borders of Scotland, and I think over the centuries they've had some pretty serious battles and fighting and all the rest between the Scots and the English up there. But it's by the sea. It's where God called St. Aidan from Ireland, St. Cuthbert, and the Venerable Bede are all there. It's called Lindisfarne, the island off, also known as the Holy Isle. And I've been there. I used to drive through it on A1 all the way up to Scotland. Berwick-on-Tweed is the town, the border town. And then there's Newcastle South, so there's a big city south of me. I can get on the bus to that, and Berwick, if I like, or Edinburgh, and so on, and the train to London, if required. Life goes on. I have to live somewhere. We've all got to live somewhere. And essentially, after 3 years back here in this area in Hertfordshire, originally I've come here because of St Albans, the Cathedral and Abbey Church of St Alban back in the 70s, 1970s. I've come up and so on from northwest London, Mill Hill, Edgware, Hendon. It's my sort of patch, 30 years in that area. So it's a bit of a wrench. I'm all settled here now. I've been here 9 months. Exactly, actually, I think, to the day. The 23rd, 24th, in fact, it is today, but whatever. So, what's changed? I made a film once. I lived out for a good number of years, so essentially I would just have everything I owned on my back. By the cathedral, and looking back at my years, and I've been all around the world. I've lived in, I think, all the English-speaking countries in the world. Someone pointed out the Falklands. Well, they're actually quite big as Wales, I think, but, well, I haven't been there. But all the other main ones I've been to. Along the way, on my pilgrimage in this vale of tears. So, wouldn't it be wonderful if, through our love of God through Christ, thereby we must love our neighbours. We don't necessarily have to like them. There's a huge difference. Of course, human beings are going to fall out, hence forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them that trespass against us. But, and this is so important, before you come to pray to God, try to reconcile with someone if you've had a disagreement. And especially on religious matters, they can be very deeply held, and strong convictions on both sides and all the rest of it. Hence all the offshoots of Christianity, let alone all the other faiths in this world. Well, the other faiths aren't offshoots of Christianity, that's why I paused. But within Christianity, there have been all these splits. I mean, most notably, I suppose, Russian Orthodox and Russian Greek, Romanian Orthodox also broke off. I think the date there is 1054. It's called the Great Schism. So there's been this sort of internal politics within the organisation of man, the Roman Catholic Church. Well, God obviously knew this would happen. We are people. I myself have wrestled with, shall I, shan't I become a Benedictine monk through the Roman Catholic Church? And after many decades of praying about this, I'm 64 years old. I'm not a priest through that Cathedral and Abbey Church of St Albans, and I'm not a Benedictine monk because I've rejected them overall. If I were to join either of those big organised churches, obviously the Roman Catholic Church much bigger than the Church of England in terms of numbers throughout the world and its history, then I would become a part of their hypocrisy, and I will not. But that means I can still see clearly because I'm not contaminated by the hypocrisy of the organization to which I've signed up. It's so important to me. If it means I have to be essentially alone, which is what I am, then so be it. I've just had this yet again. It's happened in the past to me, but a Spanish person I know, a woman married, divorced, and then married again, with a child from the first marriage and 2 from the second. And she starts to lecture me on how to be a Christian. I spend my whole life praying. To me, my whole life is a prayer. I'm always praying. Morning, evening, and night. And again, very often at these hours, I find it, I don't know, just the way I am now. I'm up through the night very often. Fox had just passed, actually. Rather sweet. La plus ça change, la plus ça reste la même chose. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, people are people. We need I suppose practically fresh, clean water and something to eat and shelter, but love. We need love. Human beings need love. We need God. Right, the order has got muddled here, but first of all, we need God. Then to love our neighbour as ourselves, the 2 commandments. And we need the practicalities of daily life. And then stop, but greed kicks in. You want more, you want more, you want more. I mean, I've lived here in this little place for 9 months, and I just can't think of another thing I need. I mean, this old table was a godsend. I found it at the place around just next door. Emmaus, they sort of help people a bit with various matters. And instead of having to camp and sit and write on the floor or whatever, I've got a table. The chair was a gift from my neighbour. This chair was a gift. That, in fact, is a ground sheet, my table, and a freezer box for fish with some tins of beans. Jolly good table. My old Bible comes from Holland. I lived in Holland at one point. I just don't need any more things. I mean, my worst worry is sometimes if I run out of candles. I mean, to me, that is the first thing I do. I light a candle. The light of Christ is shining here in this place, wherever I am, because I am a Christian. I've got to pack all my things up, and I've acquired some things. Now, I would have difficulty in living out. I've got a story behind this, but essentially a big knee operation on my left knee is on the cards. And I simply can't walk about the way I could in the past. I used to walk from one end of London to the other. I'd walk 20, 30 miles in a day. Well, it's simply not on anymore. this whole thing is still more or less fine. So there we are. That's my little story as of Monday the 24th of May 2021. Just stopped raining again, actually. Boy, oh boy. We had no rain at all in April. In England, for heaven's sake, April showers, what happened to them? And it was cold, frosts at night. And then it's more or less rained on and off for the whole of May. The trees are well back, weeks behind. Some of them still haven't really come out yet. We'll be midsummer in a month's time. Less than a month, we'll be midsummer in England. Anyway, enough rambling, that's it. Life goes on. La plus ça change, la plus ça reste. La même chose. And the greatest thing is love. The two commandments. Love God, love your neighbour as yourself. Amen.